Are you doing everything right for your bones but still worried about bone health? In this video, I'm going to reveal why magnesium might be the missing piece in your bone health puzzle. You absolutely have to know this. Hey everyone, and welcome to Revitamen. We're going to cover everything you need to know about magnesium and your bones, but make sure you stick around until the end, because the #1 sign that you're deficient is something that shocked me when I first learned it, and I guarantee it will change how you think about bone health forever. All right, let's not waste any time. The biggest thing most people don't realize, and we're starting with a huge revelation here, is that 70% of people are deficient in magnesium right now, and they have absolutely no idea. Let me explain why this is so critical. Your bones aren't just made of calcium like everyone thinks. In fact, 60% of all the magnesium in your entire body is stored in your bones. It's literally a structural component of your bone tissue. Without enough magnesium, your bones become brittle and weak, no matter how much calcium you're taking. If you can just understand this one thing, you'll already be ahead of 90% of people when it comes to protecting your bone health. And if you thought that was eye-opening, you have no idea what's coming. The final sign of deficiency we'll cover is something you probably experience every single week, and you never connected it to your bones. Okay, moving on to why this mineral is so misunderstood. Here's the thing. For decades, we've been told that calcium is the king of bone health. Drink your milk, take your calcium supplements, and your bones will be strong forever, right? Wrong. That's only half the story, and it's a dangerous half-truth. Here's what really happens. Calcium needs magnesium to actually get into your bones. Think of magnesium as the key that unlocks the door to your bone cells. Without that key, calcium just floats around in your bloodstream. And here's where it gets scary. That excess calcium can actually deposit in your arteries, your kidneys, and your soft tissues, causing more harm than good. So you could be taking all the calcium in the world, but without magnesium, you're not protecting your bones, you're potentially hurting your heart. Now let's talk about how magnesium actually works in your body. Magnesium activates vitamin D. You've probably heard about vitamin D being crucial for bone health, right? Well, vitamin D can't do its job without magnesium. It's like having a sports car with no fuel. Magnesium is the fuel that allows vitamin D to help your body absorb calcium efficiently. Studies have shown that people with higher magnesium intake have significantly higher bone mineral density. We're talking about a 20 to 30% difference in some cases. That's massive when you consider the impact on fracture risk as you age. Another common issue is that magnesium regulates the parathyroid hormone. This is your body's calcium manager. When magnesium levels are low, your parathyroid hormone goes haywire. It starts pulling calcium out of your bones to maintain blood calcium levels. So, ironically, low magnesium can actually cause your body to rob your bones of calcium, even if you're consuming enough calcium. It's like your body is cannibalizing your skeleton from the inside out. Now, let's talk about inflammation, because this is huge. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest silent destroyers of bone health. Magnesium is a powerful anti-inflammatory mineral. It helps reduce the inflammatory markers that accelerate bone loss. Research has connected low magnesium levels with increased levels of C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, both major inflammation markers. When inflammation is high, your bones break down faster than they can rebuild. Magnesium puts the brakes on that process. And the second to last thing you need to know, which is incredibly important, is that your lifestyle is probably draining your magnesium without you realizing it. This is something I see almost everyone dealing with, and it's sabotaging your bone health. Here's what's happening. Stress depletes magnesium rapidly. Every time you're stressed, your body burns through magnesium like crazy. Coffee, while we all love it, increases magnesium excretion through your urine. Alcohol does the same thing. Processed foods are stripped of magnesium during manufacturing. Even the soil our food is grown in has 50% less magnesium than it did 70 years ago due to modern farming practices. So you're fighting an uphill battle. Add to that medications like proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, diuretics, and even some antibiotics that block magnesium absorption, and you can see why deficiency is basically an epidemic.
You could be eating a decent diet and still be running on empty when it comes to magnesium. Your bones are paying the price every single day. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The number one sign that your bones are secretly missing magnesium is frequent muscle cramps and spasms, especially at night. Here's why this is so revealing. Magnesium is responsible for muscle relaxation. When you don't have enough, your muscles stay contracted. Those Charlie horses in your calves, the twitching eyelid, the tight shoulders that won't release, these aren't just annoying quirks. They're your body screaming that it needs magnesium. And here's the connection to your bones. If your muscles are cramping because they can't access enough magnesium, guess what? Your bones can't access enough either. They're both competing for the same limited supply. The cramps are just a visible warning sign of invisible bone loss happening simultaneously. This blew my mind when I first learned it. Millions of people treat their muscle cramps as a minor nuisance, never realizing it's a red flag for their skeletons slowly weakening. So what do you do about this? First, let's talk about food sources, because food should always be your first line of defense. The best sources of magnesium are dark leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard. Just 1 cup of cooked spinach gives you about 150 milligrams. Pumpkin seeds are incredible, with 1 ounce providing 150 milligrams. Almonds, cashews, and Brazil nuts are excellent. Black beans, avocados, and dark chocolate, yes, dark chocolate, are all rich in magnesium. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel not only provide magnesium, but also omega-3s and vitamin D, creating a perfect bone-building combination. But here's the reality. Due to soil depletion and modern diets, most people need supplementation. The recommended daily amount is between 300 and 400 milligrams for most adults, but many experts suggest going higher, around 400 to 600 milligrams, especially if you're deficient. When choosing a supplement, avoid magnesium oxide. It's cheap, but has terrible absorption, around 4%. Instead, look for magnesium glycinate, which is highly absorbable and gentle on your stomach. Magnesium citrate is another good option with decent absorption. Magnesium threonate is excellent if you also want cognitive benefits. And here's a pro tip. Take your magnesium in the evening. It promotes relaxation and better sleep, which is when your body does most of its bone remodeling and repair.
Now, I need to address something that the supplement industry doesn't want you to focus on too much. The calcium craze of the past few decades has actually caused problems. Studies have shown that high calcium supplementation without adequate magnesium can increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes by up to 30%. Think about that. People were trying to protect their bones and inadvertently putting their hearts at risk. The ideal ratio of calcium to magnesium is about 2 to 1. So if you're taking 1,000 milligrams of calcium, you should be getting at least 500 milligrams of magnesium. Most people are way off this ratio, often taking 2,000 milligrams of calcium with little to no magnesium. This imbalance is dangerous. Your body is incredibly smart. It will sacrifice bone health to maintain heart rhythm and muscle function because those are immediately life-threatening if they fail. So when magnesium is low, your body pulls it from your bones to keep your heart beating properly. You're essentially trading tomorrow's bone fractures for today's heartbeat. That's not a trade you want to make long term. Let's talk about age, because this gets more critical as you get older. After age 50, your body's ability to absorb magnesium decreases. Your kidneys start excreting more of it. Your digestive system becomes less efficient at extracting it from food. For women going through menopause, this is especially critical. Estrogen helps your body retain magnesium. When estrogen drops, magnesium levels can plummet, which is one reason why bone loss accelerates so dramatically after menopause. It's not just the estrogen loss affecting bones directly, it's the cascade effect on magnesium status. For men, testosterone helps maintain magnesium levels, and as testosterone declines with age, so does magnesium retention. This is why older adults are at such high risk for both magnesium deficiency and osteoporosis. They're directly connected. The statistics are alarming. 1 in 3 women over 50 will experience an osteoporotic fracture in their lifetime. For men, it's 1 in 5. Many of these fractures could potentially be prevented with proper magnesium status.
We're talking about hip fractures that lead to loss of independence, vertebral fractures that cause chronic pain and height loss, and wrist fractures from simple falls. The human and economic cost is staggering, and magnesium is one of the most overlooked prevention strategies. Here's something frustrating. You can't rely on standard blood tests to tell you if you're magnesium deficient. Only 1% of your body's magnesium is in your blood. The other 99% is in your bones, muscles, and cells. Your body will maintain blood magnesium levels at all costs, pulling it from your bones and tissues if necessary. So your blood test can come back normal while your bones and cells are desperately depleted. This is why magnesium deficiency is called the invisible deficiency. The best test is a red blood cell magnesium test, which looks at the magnesium inside your cells, not just in your blood. But even that's not perfect. The most reliable way to assess your status is to look at your symptoms and your risk factors. Are you stressed? Do you drink alcohol regularly? Do you exercise intensely? Do you take medications that deplete magnesium? Do you have muscle cramps, fatigue, or irregular heartbeat? Do you consume a lot of processed foods? If you answered yes to several of these, you're very likely deficient, regardless of what any blood test says.
Exercise is crucial for bone health, but here's what most people don't know. Exercise depletes magnesium. When you work out, you lose magnesium through sweat. Intense exercise can increase magnesium requirements by 10 to 20%. This creates a catch-22. You need to exercise to build strong bones, but exercise depletes the very mineral your bones need to stay strong. The solution is to be proactive about magnesium intake if you're active. Athletes and regular exercisers should be at the higher end of supplementation recommendations. Weight-bearing exercise combined with adequate magnesium creates the optimal environment for bone building. Resistance training sends signals to your bones to get stronger, and magnesium provides the raw materials to make that happen. Without magnesium, you're doing the work but not getting the full benefit. It's like trying to build a house when half the construction materials never show up. You'll make some progress, but the structure will be weaker than it should be. Your gut health directly impacts your magnesium status, and this is another layer most people miss. Magnesium is absorbed primarily in your small intestine. If you have any digestive issues, leaky gut, inflammatory bowel disease, celiac disease, or even just chronic bloating and irregular bowel movements, your magnesium absorption is compromised. The modern epidemic of gut problems means we have an epidemic of magnesium deficiency. Processed foods damage your gut lining. Antibiotics wipe out beneficial bacteria that help with mineral absorption. Stress, which we already mentioned depletes magnesium, also damages gut health. It's a vicious cycle. Low magnesium leads to more stress and worse gut health, which leads to even lower magnesium absorption. Breaking this cycle requires a multi-pronged approach. Heal your gut with probiotics, fermented foods, and reducing inflammatory foods. Supplement with highly absorbable forms of magnesium. Manage stress through meditation, adequate sleep, and exercise. Address all these factors together, and you'll see dramatic improvements not just in your bone health, but in your overall well-being. Your energy will increase, your sleep will improve, your mood will stabilize, and your bones will silently thank you by staying strong and fracture-resistant. Now, let's talk about another crucial player that works with magnesium, vitamin K2. This is the complete picture of bone health that almost nobody talks about. You need 4 key nutrients working together: calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, and vitamin K2. Here's how they work as a team. Vitamin D helps you absorb calcium from your food. Magnesium activates that vitamin D and helps shuttle calcium into your bones. Vitamin K2 activates proteins that bind calcium to your bone matrix and also prevents calcium from depositing in your arteries. It's like a construction crew. Vitamin D is the truck that delivers the calcium. Magnesium is the foreman directing where it goes. Vitamin K2 is the worker who actually installs it in the right place. If any of these workers is missing, the job doesn't get done properly. Most people have heard of vitamin D. Many are now learning about magnesium, but vitamin K2 is still flying under the radar.
You can find K2 in grass-fed butter, egg yolks from pastured chickens, natto, which is fermented soybeans, and certain cheeses like Gouda, or you can supplement with it. The typical dose is 100 to 200 micrograms per day. When you combine adequate magnesium with vitamins D and K2, the synergy is remarkable. Studies show this combination can actually increase bone density, not just slow bone loss, but reverse it. That's powerful.
Let me share what happens when people actually implement this. I've seen people go from having severe muscle cramps every night to none within 2 weeks of starting magnesium supplementation. I've seen bone density scans improve after a year of proper magnesium, vitamin D, and K2 intake combined with resistance training. I've seen people get off their antacids because their stress-related digestive issues resolved when their magnesium levels normalized. The changes aren't just physical. People report better mood, less anxiety, improved sleep quality, and more stable energy throughout the day. This makes sense when you understand that magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. It's not just a bone mineral. It's a master regulator of your entire system. Your nervous system, cardiovascular system, muscular system, and skeletal system all depend on it. When you're deficient, everything suffers. When you optimize it, everything improves. The bone benefits are just one piece of a much larger health transformation. But since we're focusing on bones here, let me emphasize this. Magnesium supplementation, particularly in people over 50, has been shown in studies to significantly reduce fracture risk. We're talking about a 20 to 40% reduction in some research. That's comparable to or better than some osteoporosis medications, with none of the side effects and numerous additional health benefits. Before we wrap up, let me cover the common mistakes people make. Mistake number 1, taking magnesium oxide. It's cheap, it's everywhere, but your body absorbs almost none of it. You're wasting your money. Mistake number 2, taking magnesium with calcium at the same time. They compete for absorption. Take them separately. Ideally, magnesium in the evening and calcium in the morning if you supplement both. Mistake number 3, thinking you're getting enough from food when you're not. Track your intake for a few days. You'll probably be shocked at how little you're getting. Mistake number 4, taking too much too fast. Start low and gradually increase. If you jump to high doses immediately, you'll get diarrhea, which is magnesium's most common side effect. Mistake number 5, ignoring the other pieces of the puzzle. Magnesium is crucial, but it works best as part of a comprehensive bone health strategy that includes protein, vitamins D and K2, weight-bearing exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Mistake number 6, not giving it enough time. Bone remodeling is a slow process. You need to be consistent for months to see real changes. Don't expect miracles in 2 weeks. Mistake number 7, taking magnesium with medications without checking interactions. Magnesium can interfere with certain antibiotics and bisphosphonate osteoporosis medications. Space them out by at least 2 hours. So there you have it, the complete truth about why magnesium is what your bones are secretly missing. We covered how 70% of people are deficient, how magnesium is stored in your bones and is essential for calcium absorption, how it activates vitamin D and regulates the parathyroid hormone, how stress and modern life deplete it, and of course, the most important one, how muscle cramps are your body's warning sign that your bones are suffering too. We talked about the best food sources and supplements, the dangerous calcium-to-magnesium imbalance most people have, why testing is unreliable, and how magnesium works synergistically with vitamins D and K2 for optimal bone health. Now I have a question for you. Do you currently supplement with magnesium? And if so, what type are you taking? Or are you going to start now after watching this video? Be honest and let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you got value from this video, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.